programming.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Soul Work. I'm your host, Jeni Cousins, and we all know Miss Kimberly Buckler, my co-host. And on tonight's show, I didn't book a guest because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking calls a little earlier tonight. But before we take any calls, it's going to be after our commercial break because Kim and I wanted to talk to you all about a few things. And what is that number, Kim, for everybody to give us a call?
It is 403-539-6710.
So after our commercial break, Calgary, we do expect to hear from you. Absolutely. And I just wanted to bring up actually because today is a real magical day, and it can be a real emotional day for people. And the reason I'm saying that is because today is the full moon. We got the blood moon, and we also are in full bloom of Mercury retrograde. Mm-hmm. And right now with this full moon represents relationships. So if any of you, let's say, are in a relationship, it can be going two ways. Either one, it can be getting more romantic, or we are going to be taking a look at, do we need to make changes with our partner who we're with, right? And it's all about two relationships, meaning it could be with family or friends. Some of us might be having more love because we also got Venus in the chart too with the moon, right? And we also have Uranus. So that can conflict with each other. So either we're going to be getting pulled for more warmth and more love or more disharmony. If we are feeling any type of disharmony, it's really up to us to really do that soul searching, to look down and really take a look at, you know, is my relationship working? Okay, because if not, we indeed need to make those changes, mm-hmm. right? And that is all about Mercury retrograde as well. Because with Mercury retrograde, we can use that to our advantage. I personally always use Mercury retrograde to my advantage. If you want to make any career changes, if you want to taking a look at getting married, if you want to, you know, move to a different country, anything that your dreams are telling you to do. It's like if all of a sudden you want to make those changes, do it now. Don't fight against it. If you start fighting against these changes that you know you have to make, then you're going to be more emotional and more emotional. Also, this Mercury retrograde represents people from our past coming back. And it also takes us back to the year 1996. So if we reflect back to that year, to the end of 1995 and 1996, okay, we might find ourselves coming into the same coincidental areas in our life.
That makes sense now, because 95, 96 was when I started getting into holistic healing. Mm-hmm. And then over the last 2 weeks, I keep on getting this change. And mm-hmm. I remember that feeling of when I had someone do work on my body and I'm going, what's going to happen to me? Yeah. Am I going to change? What's going to happen? Yeah. What am I going to morph into? And I realized that the reason why I was seeking it was for better health, better well-being, yes. and not to be scared of that change. So now mm-hmm. it's sort of clicking in, and to know for myself something is going to be coming up very shortly. And to embrace that, yes. and to yes.
Know
that when we open those doors, we make changes.
Yes.
Awesome things happen. Yeah. A lot of things, good things happen. And I notice mm-hmm. that with clients coming up now saying, right. you know, how am I going to change? Mm-hmm. But what would you like to change in your life?
Yeah.
You're not to be scared,
Yeah, because we have to, you know, like even myself, I've, you know, with the intention we have to change our mind, our thoughts.
Yeah.
Right? And I've so far manifested 4 things these past few months. Friday, I'm manifesting number 5. right? This one's going to take a little while longer to do, but I'm starting it on Friday. So, and I'm starting it now. I was going to hum and haul about it and wait a bit, and I'm like, no, because it's Mercury retrograde, right? Because there's been different signs to make some changes, right? So it's like, okay, Mercury retrograde, you know, help me through this, help me make these changes, you know, because this one's a little bit more of a challenge, but this is the time to do it. Definitely the time to do it. So even if 1995, 1996 earlier, if you look back on that and you're like, oh my God, that kind of time was kind of freaky or scary for me, or it wasn't a good time, you know, just kind of reflect where you are now, because you'll be surprised. You'll be really surprised where you're at. And it's all about, do not have any type of fear coming in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Because when you have fear, of course, will create that.
That'll
to
help
happen.
you go backwards instead of go forwards,
oh,
too.
It does.
Yeah.
It really, really does. And this is why it's so important. Did you see the blood moon last night? Because it was the blood moon.
No, I missed that. I had a good sleep last night.
Yeah, I know. So did I, actually. And I'm like, great, of all nights.
Yeah.
But the moon is supposed to have been like a red moon, right? I know some people caught the moon this morning, you know, earlier hours this morning when it was the big yellow moon, of course, right? But that would have been nice to catch the red moon.
Yeah.
You know, but we're going to feel those energies coming in. I mean, we had the solar flare energy coming in even a couple of weeks ago. So if you even reflect back with the solar flares, you're going to get more headaches. You very well could be more hungrier than usual, right? And it does
more
affect
thirsty.
us. Oh, more thirsty. And that's because of the solar flares. So that's the time when we have to be drinking more water to keep grounded.
Yeah, I thought Monday and Tuesday I was guzzling, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, guzzling that water back,
Yeah, because the solar flare, right, that's the heat.
Yeah.
Right? So our bodies could heat up, you know, the headaches could come in again too. And the water, we all need water, but that's the time, it's dehydration.
But when you think about it too, when you're working with the moon energy, you like your waves, the tidals, whatever you call it, where the waves come in and go out again. Your body's like that because we're how much % water. So really pay attention to your body. And what I notice too is generally my well-being's like this, and if all of a sudden I drop and either, you know, depression or anxiety or something kicks in, pay attention to that right away and ask, where is this coming from, and how you can change it to go back to being up here again. Because I like to be like this.
Absolutely.
And the different things have been kicking in the last few days. So and I equate that to the moon. I notice if I'm not sleeping 2-3 days, 2 nights in a row, it's a moon.
It is. And during Mercury retrograde too, there can be unsettlement. You know, there can be more deaths than usual. I had somebody call me yesterday, and I did take the call because they lost 2 pets the same day. They both went together at the same time, right? So Mercury retrograde two's transition, right? Releasing the past to bring in the new, right? And going with the flow. I mean, for me, for instance, with this being the full moon day, I'm covered in hematite. My earrings are the biggest hematite I can find for my earrings, right? And then I have my chakra necklace on to balance everything out, and my hematite, absolutely more hematite on. I always have more crystals on, but I wouldn't normally wear, you know, these earrings because they're heavy. But when we're facing Mercury retrograde with the full moon combined with the solar flare and everything, I have to wear something like that. Right? You know, drinking the water, the bath Tuesday night or Monday night, I was filming all day. I got home really late. The first thing I did was take a long hot bath with some lavender bath salts. Right? So I just needed to, you know, clear out any of the energies. You know, so I can sleep.
So we can use the full moon to help us let go of what no longer is serving us, what we've done and bless it. You know, send it off with blessings and say thank you for this experience and that. And then your new moon is going to go new beginnings. So what would you like to start? So
and that can be anything. I mean, we really can manifest everything. You know, we just can't snap our fingers and say, okay, let's make this happen. Right? We really have to train our thoughts. You know, we can have, you know, especially you know, in today's society, you know, with so many different things going on in the world, it gets really difficult, so we need to balance things out. So it's training our thoughts, you know, from any negative thoughts, you know, bringing in the love and the light, you know, and saying our daily affirmations and mantras of what a really good day it's going to be, right? And that will really work with us, with this transition. And we are, Calgary, going to take a short commercial break. We're already getting the wrap-up sign here. So after this commercial break, Calgary, we'll be taking calls. What's that number, Kim?
It is 403-539-6710.
We want to hear from you, Calgary, so we'll be right back after these messages. Hang tight. Welcome back, Calgary. For those of you who are just joining us, I am your host, Jenny Cousins, and thank you for tuning into Soul Work. And we were just speaking about the full moon combined with the solar flares, combined with Mercury retrograde, how we can use that energy to help us move forward.
Yeah.
And one of the most important things that I do every morning, you know, especially when I know it's going to be more of a challenging day, for instance, is I do affirmations.
Okay.
Affirmations. And the harder the day it's going to be, you know, I keep telling myself what a really good day it's going to be, you know, because we have to change our thoughts. It's that intention that we really want to put out to create many things to happen.
Yeah.
And spirit will listen to us because it's the vibration we send out, so we'll attract it right back to us of what we want to manifest, what we want to create in our life. And, and it does work with us. It doesn't happen like that, but it does happen.
Yeah.
And you'll notice that. So if you do that, if you start saying that every morning, some type of a, you know, positive affirmation about something, positive mantra, you'll soon see changes coming in.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, and we do have a caller, and our first caller is Carol. Hello, Carol?
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, and your question for us tonight?
Yes, actually, I had one for each of you. I don't know if you recognize my voice. My name is Carol, and you wanted to talk to me about, say something about my health.
Right.
Are you picking up anything?
You have, yeah, like your health almost it's almost like your immune system's kind of going down a little bit, right?
Oh yeah, that's my multiple sclerosis.
Yes, yes, I do remember you now. Yes.
Yeah.
This is where you can really, you know, use this, you know, Mercury retrograde, the supermoon, and that to help you. There's no magical wand, let's say, for an example, you know, that is magically going to take everything, you know, apart, right? But you'll notice that when we start to shift our thoughts, right, more and more each and every day, right? See, the last thing you want to do is own a disease. It doesn't matter what it is.
Okay.
Right? Because when we say, okay, I have multiple sclerosis, for instance, right? Then we keep on telling ourselves, I have that. What we need to be focused on is clearing this right out of our body, right? Again, no magical wand is going to make that happen, right?
No.
So it's all about saying, what I personally would do is I would personally say and visualize, I'd close my eyes and I'd say, each and every day, Spirit is taking any and all sicknesses out of my body. I'm releasing any and all toxins out of my body each and every day. I know it sounds really out there, right? But what we want to do is clear that, you know, those thoughts away and bring into the new positive thoughts. What about you, Kim?
The first thing that would come to my mind is what Jenny mentioned was the attitude, and that makes a huge difference. And also your eating too. The foods that you're eating, and making sure you're eating a really clean diet, and that makes a huge difference. Like your vegetables, your fruits, a lot of times we need to stay away from the white products, like your white flours and sugars and stuff like that.
Okay, and pastas and stuff.
Yeah.
It takes time, and that's the thing. It's like retraining our body, retraining our habits, right? And clearing things out, right? And it's also too of letting go of any resentment.
Oh,
right, because multiple
Yeah.
MS represents holding in resentments, holding in, anger also. So, that's the thing, right? We can create many different things in our body if we hold on to things, right?
Yeah. Well, they told me when they diagnosed me that I was to have no stress in my life.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But unfortunately, I'm a survivor of domestic violence.
Yes.
And it took me a long time to get over that one.
Yeah, and it's just releasing it every
and
day.
It just happened one day.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was
And that's
the coolest thing.
Yes, and that's what happens. It's being, very, like I say, I'm very blessed and I'm very grateful for, certain things, rather than dwelling on, oh my God, is this going to happen? Oh my God, is that going to happen? Right?
Yeah,
it's getting out of
no.
that fear mode, right? That's the hard part, regardless what circumstances we're in, regardless if it's financial, regardless if it's with our health, regardless, any type of crises. That's the challenge part there, is to stay focused and really say, okay, I'm blessed I have a home to live in. I'm blessed I have food to eat. I'm very grateful that I had money for my mortgage or my rent this month, or anything like that.
Okay.
Right? And you'll see, again, it's doing this, on a day-to-day basis. That's part of the affirmations and the mantras as well, right? And you'll soon see that things start to kind of clear itself. I would also stay away from any negative people in your life, right?
Okay.
Anything that stresses you out also, of course, right? And, we got to make changes in our life. I've made many changes in my life, distancing myself away from certain people. Not that they're bad people or anything like that, but it's just that I'm worthy more and I deserve to be treated with respect. So I'll walk away from certain people, and I'll also, say to myself, I'll send them love and light, and I really and truly bless them, and wish them the best of happiness from my heart. Right?
Okay.
I always do, regardless who they are. Yes.
Okay.
And
Well,
I just forgave them.
yes, absolutely. Very important.
Okay. Well, thank you, Carol, for calling in. We do have another caller waiting.
Okay,
And,
thank you. And thank you for the information.
You're welcome.
Take care. Our next caller is Caroline.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, how are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. And your question for us?
Good. I don't know if I have a specific question, but I was just sort of thinking about spiritual protection, and I can't remember if it's Christy or her first name there, talking about spiritual protection or protecting ourselves from people. Staying. I don't always remember to stay in the light to bless people when they're ruffling my feathers or upsetting me, and not understanding that maybe it's a higher power that's
you got to protect yourself
from,
by that. It's like everybody has their own journey to walk on, right? Every single person that we meet, right? We're all teachers. It doesn't matter, let's say, for instance, if you met somebody that hurt you in any way, it's what you learned from that, right? It's like, you know what? I deserve better than that. I'm more worthy. I don't need that energy in my life. It's up to you to make that decision to walk away from that. But I always...
I think I get stuck, like, trusting that's guidance or that's grace, and being afraid to move into the future.
Yeah, don't be
afraid.
afraid.
I try to hold on.
You got to stay in the now.
Or past relationships.
Yeah, you got to stay in the now. And right now, as I mentioned earlier with Mercury retrograde, this moon, by the way, represents relationships, right? And family, friends, we could attract a new romantic partner into our life. If you're in an unhealthy relationship, this is your time now to walk away from it and clear it, to resolve it, to open up the doors for someone else walking in. Because what you do in this Mercury retrograde, you'll see the results in the next one.
Okay. And two, if somebody's ruffling your feathers or pushing your buttons, ask yourself.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
I feel like,
But then ask yourself why it's still ruffling your feathers.
Why are
and
you
it's
allowing it?
And what is it that you can learn from it too? So if I see something and something bothers me, I'll stand back and go, okay, why is this bothering me? So if I saw someone with an over-domineering personality, that will remind me, okay, Kimmy, back up, don't be over-dominating or whatever it is. So sometimes it's a good reflection, something for us to look at and see what we still need to work with.
Yeah. Yeah, and worthiness.
Within ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. The work has to come from within, right?
Yeah.
And you know, that's the thing. It doesn't matter who's around us. We make that choice.
Yeah. And
you know, to get involved with them or not.
Yeah, and then when it comes to the point where you can stand back and just observe and you can see this going on and it not bothering you, you know you've dealt with it.
And you don't need to be near it or around it, right? You know, you can make that decision. I've walked away from people all my life. I would rather be alone. I get, you know, like people saying the fearless warrior walks forward fearlessly. I've been called that for years. I'd rather be alone on my own and have a peace of mind than be around negative energies.
Right. I think I'm struggling with that.
It takes time. Like it takes time. You know, sometimes we have to really get devastated or hurt or traumatized in order, you know, to say, I've had enough. You know, each one of us, you know, has our own comfort zone. So it's all about when we're ready to let go, it's all about worthiness. Each one of us is worthy. Right? So you have to stand back and ask yourself, do I deserve better than this? Yes, you do. Yes. Right? Why am I allowing that person to walk over me? Why am I allowing that person to control me or dominate me? Right? It's not the other person. That's just who they are. You got to take a look at yourself and say, why am I allowing that person to do that to me? Doesn't matter who they are.
I got a funny feeling you'd be very capable of being able to teach other people how they can change their situations and change the energy around them so that they're not always immersed in that. I think you'd do very well at that. So maybe that's why you're seeing some of this too. It's maybe it's time for you to start teaching other people how they can shift and change.
You have to learn it first, and you have to experience it, and you have to go through it in order to teach it to others. Right? Because you can't start teaching something if you're not doing it yourself. Because that's very contradictory. Right? So you have to stay true to yourself. That's the number one thing, you know, and it's hard, especially when, you know, people come from domestic violence, let's say, or come from somebody who's verbally abusive to somebody, you know, very manipulating or, you know, dominant towards somebody. You know, when we get in that vicious circle, you know, we can get so down in the lower, you know, desire, in the lower energy, that it's hard to get up again, right? But it comes from strength, and it all comes from when we're truly ready. You know, it's like you get certain people that continuously, why am I keep on getting abused every single relationship I'm in? It's because you haven't learned from it. So when we haven't learned our lessons, we keep repeating it over and over and over again. Right? Yeah, it's like relationships, like even with myself. I mean, I like to personally, this is just me, get to know somebody for quite some time, even before I consider dating that person. Right? Just, I've been there before. I'm not doing it again.
More cautious.
It's just being alert. It's because I respect myself enough to not have anybody do that. So,
Caroline, if you could also look into some cord cutting, learning about cord cutting, and it would help you out quite a bit. And thank you so much for calling.
Thank you. Yep.
Thank you.
Yes.
Take care.
Yep. Thank you. You too.
You're welcome.
We have time for one more caller, Linda.
One more quick caller.
Hi.
Hi, how are you tonight?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. And your question for us tonight?
Relationships. Not unlike the last lady, but I did leave 18 years ago, and I think that it's probably time to look again.
Yes.
And I'm just wondering if there's somebody with a good heart and soul and spirit waiting for me or looking for me.
What's your first name again?
Linda.
Linda. I'm seeing somebody coming to you in the springtime. You don't know this person, and it's going to be somebody that you least expect. Somebody with grayish hair, more of a mature person, really. a little bit of a mustache. And he's a real gentleman, like he reminds me like of a chivalrous knight that is going to take you out. Yeah, wouldn't that be great, eh? You know, but he's somebody that's going to take you out for dinner. He's going to open up the car door for you. He's going to give you flowers. He's going to jewelry.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Spiritual, that's really important to me too, that he's done his spiritual work.
Yes. Yes, and it's all about law of attraction. So if we're sitting back with all this baggage and we haven't done our own work, you're not going to attract somebody like that.
Right.
Right? So, you know, because you've been clearing and resolving karmic issues, right? Because it comes from within. There's a lot of deep soul searching we have to do, you know, in order to release things and cut ties. It comes from deep inside to resolve all of it, to clear out the whole entire nation, as I call it, within. Right, so we can attract that one person. And you've done a lot of all of that.
Yes,
right?
I have.
Yes. So all about, you know, it's about what do you deserve. You know, you can write a letter to the angels, as I call it. You know, you can write down what you're looking for in someone. Somebody who has, like, no drug problems, drinking problems, gambling problems.
Right.
Somebody who's financially secure, who's going to treat you with respect.
Who likes dancing.
Yes, different things that you enjoy doing. Right?
Yes.
So you have to write all of this down. Don't write what they look like. Make sure you write that they have to speak English.
Yes.
Because I did that many years ago, and I met somebody who didn't speak a word of English, and I'm like, great.
Oh.
Great.
Yeah, I wasn't specific enough.
Exactly, right? And you'll be surprised. And write 2 letters. It doesn't matter if it's 100 miles long. You know, you take the good copy, you burn it. Go outside, burn it with matches, not with a lighter. And you'll be surprised how fast you can manifest something, you know, coming to you. But I'm hearing 6 months, but even Christmas time, you might bump into him or meet him somehow. Christmas time, but...
Do you like dancing?
Yes, I'm a trained dancer.
Oh, okay, I keep on hearing dance studio.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Light on the toes.
Yeah.
I've taken dance lessons for many, many years.
Okay, that might be where you might be meeting this fellow.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure, but something about this dance studio.
You could sweep him off his feet. Literally, but he'll sweep you off your feet. That's the chivalrous knight.
That is.
Okay.
I would like that.
Yeah, he's this guy likes the countryside. He likes
good too.
He prefers living in the country, right? He loves animals. I'm seeing horses. He has a truck. Montana, I'm hearing too. So he could be back and forth, right?
Okay.
But I'm getting the wrap up sign.
Okay.
And you can always book an appointment with Kim or I also, right?
Thank you so much.
Because if you want, for us to elaborate a lot more with you as well.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Appreciate your time.
Oh, absolutely, and thank you for calling.
My pleasure. Thank
Definitely.
you.
And we want to thank everybody, all of the callers, for calling in and to take full advantage of this Mercury retrograde and the full moon. We've had a lot of banging going on with all the planets and stuff, so we will be back next Wednesday night live at 6:30 p.m. on Shaw TV Soulwork. All episodes are under YouTube as well. Take care, Calgary. See you next Wednesday night.